Hello everybody, it's Wyvern here with a continuation of the Wulfrik campaign that we started a few days ago. So, I haven't really had time to play this campaign very much. I did clear through, that's because I was focusing on other campaigns. I was clearing through Throg's campaign and working on the tutorial for Carcassonne. So I haven't really had the or for Bretonnia. So I haven't really had the time to play very much, but finally did get a little bit of time in, and so yeah, doing the second episode of Wulfrik's campaign. Like I said, I did finish Throg's campaign. It was interesting to say the least. It wasn't necessarily that difficult of a campaign, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. Didn't really like the monster heavy armies. It's not something I'm that much of a fan of. So yeah, that was basically my take on it. I'm gonna be scrapping some units over there, and I think that's basically it for this turn. So yeah, I was finishing the guide for Bretonnia. I should get Carcassonne and Bordelot done in the next few days because they're going to be a shorter guide, more akin to Angrand than the full faction guides. They're going to be basically covering some of the smaller gimmicks or smaller factors of those factions. Gonna wait another turn here. I'm going to scrap this fortification. It's not really necessary. And hopefully I'll slowly clearing through this campaign. I don't know if you guys saw, but the new trailer was released for the Skaven. So that looks like a lot of fun. Because you get to see the Doom Wheel and all the ridiculous stuff that Skaven can bring to the field. I found it absolutely hilarious. I thought it was really good. It also looks like the legendary lords, people already sorted out what they're going to be. Quick Head Taker and I do believe Throg or something like that, which is some sort of, I guess, Plague Priest. I'm not entirely sure on the Skaven lore. I'm not too close to it. Or I don't follow it too closely. But definitely looks pretty good. I'm mostly... once Warhammer 2 comes out, I'll probably be doing either Skaven or Dark Elves first. I'm still bit on the fence, not sure which I want to do first, but one of the two, definitely gonna get priority. Still got military crackdown going over here, which means that unhappiness will spike at some point. I want to take Aceling's conclave away, and I'd have no income right now, which is a bit of a problem. And my obedience is dropping fairly quickly. I also, unfortunately, am suffering from no meat, which is increasing the upkeep of my Marauder units, and that's really rather unfortunate. I do need to try to find the Acelings if possible, and go fight them so that I can confederate them. I don't really want to start wars with people if I can't guarantee that I can take their territory right away. I can't seem to be able to find them. As you can see, happiness over here is already dropping pretty heavily. I could build some additional structures, perhaps, somewhere. Actually not really, I can't. I need to level things up to tier 3. If I can level stuff up to tier 3, that'll mostly deal with the public order issues. That was definitely something I noticed in Throg's campaign. As long as you got those structures up to fix your public order issues, you're basically set. So I guess that's going to be it for this turn. There's Skull Takers. I don't entirely know. There's a bunch of lords back. There's these guys. I'll position myself here and hopefully be able to catch them next turn. No matter which way they flee, we'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm not declaring war on them immediately because I do want to take them, or I do want to beat them in a fight. And for now, I'm simply going to sit tight. Not really do much of anything. I could build up some of my economy buildings still, but I'm very low on money right now, and I feel like I should save it for an emergency if needed. And I don't have Monster Hunter unlocked. I forgot about doing that, but I don't necessarily need it. I won't really be able to do the quest right now anyway. My unit roster is pretty weak, and I did a handful of Estrog. Some were rather some were difficult if you don't have the right units. They can be very unforgiving. It does look like Aceling is falling back to their home, so what I'm going to do is well, I don't know if I'll be able to catch them. I'll try to. They're probably going to flee. They are going to flee. And I'm just barely not going to be able to run them down, so that's a little unfortunate for sure. So yeah. Campaign movement range. That would have been nice to have a little while ago. These Varg is getting destroyed by the orcs over there. Looks like they're getting sacked and raised and all that sort of stuff. I'll probably have to go back to the Varg encampment over there. And these guys are just running away. I really don't know what to say here. I just can't really catch those Acelings. I don't know if they're at war with anybody else. I think they might be at war with Wintertooth. And it looks like they completely screwed up there. They moved into the Aceling's Conclave, which means I'll be able to catch them pretty handily. This is an auto resolve. Unfortunately, it means I don't get the Frostworm, which was a unit I would have liked to get. I'm going to occupy. I suppose I could have sacked, but I'd rather get the structures here. And now I can initiate diplomacy, get him a peace treaty, and get confederation. I'd also wish I'd managed to engage him outside, because then this settlement wouldn't have been downgraded, I don't think. I really don't need that sort of building, but the income will be very beneficial. Varkamp is probably going to get raised by the orcs, I'd assume. Not entirely sure if it will, but it looks that way. I'm going to have to run down those orcs at some point, because that's an insufferable problem. Over here I could raise some Marauders really quickly, maybe some Marauder Hunters, and try to dash over and take Dietershaven. It's a fairly weak comp, but and I'm suffering the recruiting shortage penalty here. Oh, I'm gonna wait at least a turn. And the Winterpire hates me. I'm gonna get Deadly Blade. I don't know if the Varg are just gonna get raised in this next turn. I feel like something I'm missing is that Werkin could be potentially a very strong unit to try to rush to, because if you can get like 1 or 2 of Werkin, that's probably enough to basically carry you through everything. And it does look like those guys got crushed there. I don't want to destroy this stuff because I actually want to, if possible, I would like to get Marauders and Marauder Champions, or Marauder Champions and Marauder Champions with great weapons. The Varkamp's still intact, so that's a little interesting. I'm gonna swing around this way. I don't entirely know if. I don't know where the orcs went, or if what's going on there. I'll try to swing around and see what's up. I'm gonna build up. Well, it looks like Nordland. Well, if Nordland leaves, I'll be able to hit Dietershaven. Get some. Well, very poor, which is a bit of a problem. I'll hold off for now. I still have the upkeep penalty, so I'll just try to keep making money. I could invest in some things over here, but I'm not going to do that right now. I should probably save up to get a clan enclave. And I got a new. I'll go for Noxious Vessel. I'm still not entirely sure what the proper builds are for Norsca, or what smart builds I guess are for Norsca, as far as leader skills go. Recruiting surplus. Well, that's nice. I'm not going to complain. Hopefully I'll be able to catch these guys. Hopefully they'll fight. There we go. Resolve. And that's some more money. And unfortunately these guys will be able to escape, but they will be. That's doesn't make me too happy, but I can get Deadly Blade. I want to get the Norscan Warhorse, Chariot, and War Mammoth as quickly as I can. I think that'll be pretty helpful. Unfortunately, over here I'm losing money very, very quickly. I'm going to invest... Actually, I should probably invest in Obedience. I'm actually going to improve this area over here. And if I can get one more building leveled up over here, that will undo all the public order problems I have. Over here with my army sitting tight, if I can level this structure up and then one more, I'll be almost fine. Almost. Isn't great. Unfortunately, I'm losing control very quickly over here on this front. Because the dwarves probably were fighting over here, the chaos corruption on in this area and the altar of spawns, whatever that area is called, is very, very low, and that's just unfortunate. And I don't know where those orcs went. There they go. I don't want to stop in that sort of pit. I'm gonna try to deploy. I want to deploy in a position where they can't just bypass me, so I can destroy them. So that's a bit of a problem there. I'm just trying to get income, as much income as I can. It's funny that I've got recruitment shortage and recruitment surplus at the same time, so I'm gonna wait a bit, I think. Well, I'll build a few Marauders. I think I'll make like a dash over to Dietershaven, back and forth, and I'll just try to raid the northern coast here with a small army, just to build up a little bit of income. Because at this point I'm really suffering money-wise. Not really able to do anything about it. I don't know where Varg is. I do wish Varg would spawn their lord, but I'm assuming he's probably going to spawn it down by the Tower of Crack, which they also control. Which is unfortunate. And the orcs run away. That is not good. I'll simply declare war on Varg. I don't know where they are. I'm just going to take this area. And I'll occupy it. Unfortunately, I'm not really going to be able to hold this, but that's okay. I'm going to build a pair of Berserkers, and then I think I'm just going to start taking Dietershaven. I probably won't even occupy it, I'll just sack it for money. And I'm trying to get Wulfrik leveled up. I'll give him Eye of the Gods. I'm gonna have to fall back to Aesling's Conclave. I'm not really worried if I lose the Varg encampment and if it gets raised by the rebels. That's fine, honestly. It's not something that concerns me too much. Get a longship builder over here. I want to get every little ounce of income I possibly can. Unfortunately, these orcs are really frustrating. I didn't manage to catch them, and I declared war on them. Trying to set up an ambush. If I can bait him to me, I'd be set. Fortunately, this area has fallen to rebellion very, very quickly. I'm gonna see if I can. I actually can, so that's awesome. And rather than establishing an outpost, because that's not going to do me very much good, I'm not going to raise it for the serpent. That's a waste. I'm going to sack it, and that'll help me a bit. And now, rather than staying and fighting, I'm just going to. I actually can't. It won't let me run. Okay. Well, that's not great, but it's okay. And that gave me enough money to level up one of these settlements. I'll level up the, well, actually, I'll level up the Grayling Moot over here. Actually, it looks like right now the unhappiness is perfect. Is it? It's being balanced out by faction and buildings. So, okay, so it's actually fine by the look of it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to start investing in the structures over here. And see what I can do about this guy. If I can give him Noxious Vessel, I want to give him that extra weapon strength and all that sort of stuff. And if Nordland tries to fight me, I'll just run. Basically, playing like a bunch of Vikings here. And I can get stronger ores, longer hulls. Not entirely sure what I want to get here. I'll probably just go with armor. I do want to get rid of those orcs. The orcs are something I'm a little worried about, and I don't want to. If I let them just rampage around, they'll keep recruiting units, and they'll eventually start sacking my settlements, which don't have fortifications, and that's just really annoying. Demolish farms, income from raiding, income from sacking. Either of these are okay. It doesn't really matter which one I do. I'm gonna try to catch these guys. Catch these dumb orcs. I don't know what armies. That's a 7 stack against a bit of a beat up. I'm gonna see how strong the Scarce is, because they're softened up. They have a lord in. Well, let's see. Those mortars. The problem is that the mortars will do an absolute number. So I'm not gonna fight that. I'm just gonna retreat. And I can't really take Salzman. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run and well. I'll walk all the way to here and just enter raiding stance. Make some money, then jump back to Ice Drake Fjord, defend it against the rebellion that's coming in. I can build a Ruinous Altar finally, so that's actually good. That'll help me a bit with the my situation. Marienburg's declaring war. I suppose they don't like the whole me raiding their territory shtick. I find it hilarious that they're calling in Nordland to help them in a war against me. They actually managed to recruit units, and I'm in a lot of trouble. I actually don't. Savage orcs are really good, but I do have trolls. I could try to auto-resolve it, but I'm worried that that's not going to work out. It looks like it's just outside of my favor a little bit. Gonna have to give it a shot. My best bet is if I can shut down their Savage Orc big guns, and then rely on my champions, I might be able to do this. I'll try to assassinate the Lord with my trolls. He is a big boss, so he should be fairly susceptible to. He'll probably enter melee, and I'll be able to hit him with the trolls. Yeah, this is giving me much more favorable chance, I think, than I actually have, which is a little unfortunate. Definitely not too pleased with the way things are. Gonna position my command unit in the center, just so it's giving a full boost. I'm just gonna position my great weapons. I don't have to attack. I'll let them attack. I'm a little worried. The problem is that the trolls are very, very susceptible to breaking. The only thing is the fast speed. And as you can see, these guys actually, yeah, they charged in, and now they're getting surrounded. So I think I'll actually be able to beat these guys down before they get much done, and that'll be, yeah, that's a big win there. And these guys are getting trashed by the spears. That's wonderful. I'll actually be able to, yeah, break them. Nice. And here I'm going to try to beat down this ridiculous goblin. And if I can do that, I think I might have a shot. These spearmen are holding as best they can. They're not going to hold for very long, but I need them to hold as long as possible. The trolls are struggling. And As you can see, this flank is already breaking. Yeah, the trolls don't have the morale for this, I don't think. I'm gonna push into the Savage Rook Big Guns with them and just try to get clear. Fortunately, the big guns over here. My line is buckling really bad. Most of my infantry and my best unit, my unit that had the best chance of doing very much of anything, got completely destroyed by the Savage Rook Big Guns. The unfortunate thing is that with you can see all my units are just routing off at this stage. Just puts me in a major problem. I can try to push the force path of the trolls after the goblin there. But at this point, my whole flank is being wrapped up, and it's just a really major problem. I don't know if my trolls are going to break before they kill. Actually, I think they killed him. So that's a bit of a win, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to secure victory. Yeah, I don't think it is. I'll try to push my spears back in, whatever units I can. But unfortunately, I think it's not going to be enough. My units are just breaking. The orcs are quick enough to where I can try to push these guys back into the fray, but the problem is that Savage Orcs are really good against squishy infantry like this. The only units I had that really hold pretty well here were the champions. I really don't like the garrisons for Norsca. It's not like Wood Elves where with Wood Elves, I think with Wood Elf outpost garrison, I would have probably been able to hold this, and between Treekin Dryads, Deepwood Scouts, and all that stuff. Actually, I guess I wouldn't be able to build an outpost because this is a port city. Yeah, my best. Well, I did annihilate their 2 highest end units, so that's a win. But the Savagers are just too good for the Marauders. Marauders have Fury, but that takes time. It's like they're like polar opposites. The Marauders will build up. See what they do. Okay, I think I should be able to run them down. So they're like polar opposites in some ways. I'm gonna do Bloody Blades, get extra attack. That was unfortunate because that was my leveled up settlement. And these guys are gonna run, and I'll finally be able to catch them. I'm just gonna auto resolve this. Finally, sacrifice. That was very annoying. But now I can fall back with Wulfrik. And unfortunately, this is going to need repairing, so I'm going to invest in repairs there. And provincial instability is going to be racking this place, so I need to get an army back to Grayling Moot. Ice Drake Fjord is not doing too hot, but in a turn I think I'm going to set sail back to Grayling Moot with my army. I need to get an army back to here. Get Obsidian Quarry up and running. And it does look like Wulfrik can now get a horse, which is nice. That'll help set up Winds of... not Winds... I was about to say Winds of Death. Seafang a lot better. I think I'm gonna send my little army down south to Ice Drake Fjord, replenish them, and then as you can see, it's managed to level off the unhappiness. I think I'm gonna rebuild these guys, give them some new units, throw some extra marauders into the mix, some marauder hunters, and then throw them back south. Keep raiding. Meantime, I'm gonna send Wulfrik the Wanderer. Well, this is a bit of a problem. I'm going to send him up north to Grayling Moot. Fortunately, I've got... that place is going to rebel soon. Aesling's Conclave is going to rebel soon, and I can't really cover all angles. What I might be forced to do is move this army north to Grayling Moot. That's definitely a bit of a problem with Norscans. They're very, very bad at... I think as you can see, Nordland's already building up again over here. Vigorous travel does what? Campaign movement range plus 25%. That's actually, I actually really like that. That's really solid. What I'm gonna do is gonna run over there. This area is about to fall apart, control-wise. So I'm gonna shuffle those guys along. And for now I have Wulfrik over here. Gonna be Revolt here soon. It's just an overall pain in the rear. But if I can retake... Most of this upheaval stems from the provincial instability, so if I can outlast that, I'll be fine. I just gotta outlast the instability for a bit. Where you can see Marienburg's incredibly powerful. Marienburg is very wealthy, and that means that especially with the AIs cheating, they can field a lot of armies. What did I just get? What was the upgrade there? I think there was something about Ace-Link's Conclave getting happiness. That is actually wonderful. That is a bit of a lifesaver, I guess. Our camp falling apart at the seams. These guys... It doesn't really look like they're reducing the unhappiness here too much, so what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to reduce the unhappiness, we're just going to sit out and let the province revolt, and then kill the revolt once it shows up. Crafter's Barn, this is fairly pointless. I think the cavalry is pretty lackluster for Norsca. Both the chariots, I had much higher expectations for the chariots than what we actually ended up getting. Actually looks like Throg's relations with me are improved a decent amount. Never mind, it looks like he's declaring war on me, so that was too good to hope for. So about to have a revolt there. Ancestral research. I don't really have money, so well, how long is this gonna? Actually, it's 15 turns, so maybe be decent. I'm gonna scout around and see if I can spot where Throg's armies are. If he has, I can't really fight this. The Marauder champions are incredibly good. They're far superior to ordinary Marauders. The two just really don't compare at all. And I need Marauders. I need Marauders with great weapons. So I might start scrapping the Marauders in Wulfrik's army and replacing it with great weapons. Because I can't take on champions without armor piercing. Varg actually got wiped out, which is nice. I honestly don't mind them being wiped out. There's the revolt. This will be an easy auto resolve. This was weirdly enough. So some of the revolts are Norscan, some are Chaos. I'm not entirely sure what the requirements are for either. I'm not sure why it varies, so it's a little confusing. I'm just gonna keep sacrificing because I'm not too worried about replenishment at this stage. Military crackdown. There's buildings. There's a character. I'm not even sure what the characters are. I think it's this guy from war with adjacent provinces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna level this up to Clan Enclave. Actually, I'm gonna level up the Greyling because that's nearby. And I'm going to start marching this army to join Wulfrik, just so I can kill off Throg and be done with him for good. If I lose Varg camp, I don't really care. It's not raking in enough cash to be worthwhile at this stage. I'm going to get Noxious Vestal maxed out. And I'm going to fall back with Wulfrik and scrap some of his Marauders, because I really don't care for him too much. And in a turn or two, I'll get some Marauders with great weapons to give me an armor-piercing contingent. This way my income goes. As far as my income's not going to do too hot no matter what I do. As you can see, Nordland is kind of rearing for a fight. I'm a little worried that if Nordland decides to jump across and go after Ice Drake Fjord, I'm going to be in deep trouble. Because I won't really be able to hold it at all. There's this army over here with the Kala of the Kurgan, and I'd have no armor piercing, so I'm not going to bother. If I could get Wulfrik on a Mammoth, that would be ideal, but it's not likely to happen. In the meantime, though, I'm rushing this army over here in Grove Whitebreak. It's just going to fall. Nothing to be done about that. This is doing fairly well. Doomkeep's actually doing okay. +2, surprisingly, for characters. Buildings, factions, nice. Basing's doing okay. I think that in a turn or two I'll be able to recruit, unless Smash Cities, Bloody Blades, Vigorous Travel. So yeah, I should be able to recruit several. I should be able to recruit 3 Ruinous and Marauders with great weapons next turn. And that should be enough, I'd hope, that as long as I micro them and utilize them correctly. Right now, if Nordland decides to sail across and start sacking or raising my territory, I'm not going to be able to stop it. So it is what it is. But I need to deal with all the threats in Norsca, and once I've dealt with all the threats in Norsca, I'll be in a much better position. And I do have some armor piercing in this army as well, and some cannon fodder units, so I think this is ideal. Can get some Marauders with great weapons, take a turn, and then push out and hopefully catch somebody out there. I don't know where Throg is, because so far I've only seen Dakala or whatever his name is. Right now I'm broke, making a lot of money. I might even be losing money next turn with the great weapons in the mix, which is not really good. No, I'm just barely floating. So okay, that's good. So I'm gonna do. Hopefully, Throg's not camped out over there already. Gonna move to there. Get myself ready to attack, and I think Kislev wiped out those guys. So yeah, I'm floating. I'm doing well on the control, which is perfect. Only Varkamp is in danger, and the thing is that if revolts happen, it doesn't really matter, because if you have a revolt as Norsca, if it's Chaos or Norsca, they're not going to occupy the city. You're not going to have a new army that you need to go crush. They're simply going to raise it. And I don't know, Throg might actually be fighting, because Throg's not here, so I assume Throg's either dead, but that's not likely given that this army is here, and Throg is very strong. So I think Throg's out here fighting these guys, or perhaps he's raiding. But regardless, I'm going to move really well. I'm going to throw my cannon fodder army in first and encircle them. That is a lot of champions. That is actually absolutely terrifying. I don't know if I can actually take this army in a fight. I thought that there was much... Well... This is legitimately a battle that shows, I think, how skewed auto-resolve is. Because this is an army against which my comp, right here, would not stand no chance. With shields, if I go in and try to fight this, I'm going to lose, straight up. And I don't think there's no shame in admitting that, I think. Like, if I actually fight this, I could do all the maneuvering I want. I could assassinate this guy. It wouldn't matter. On this difficulty, these guys with their 80 armor are going to ignore the vast majority of my units. Even the Berserkers will barely be able to touch them. With auto-resolve, I'll get a win, which is mildly ridiculous. And I can now occupy Winterpire, which gives me this entire province, which is pretty nice. That's just ridiculous. I don't know a Throg somewhere, though. That's a little frustrating. So, income building, I could level up Winterpire, or I could level up Aceling's Conclave. I don't know if this is Conquest, so there's only a handful of turns of provincial instability, but those don't really matter. So, I'm going to level up Aceling's Conclave so I can get champions. Varkamp's going to be lost in 2 turns, or 3 turns, or whatever. This place is recovering. I'll send my crappy stack of infantry back. And yeah. I'll level this guy up, get him Putrefying Ooze. Could go for Eye of the Gods. Eventually I will. The missile resistance is nice. Stacked on top of the armor's not too great, but Plague of the Crow is awesome. Wulfrik is still fairly low level. It's okay. I can actually get Regiments of Renown there. Which, right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to do. I could level up the settlements here, or the stuff here. Get a loot pile. I'm trying to see if there's any more economic buildings that I can build. But like with my all my stuff in the positives now. I guess I'll just do a beast tanner, because that'll double the income from these structures, which is an improvement. And as long as I have this building, so one of these is a building buff. So I do wish I could find Throg. I don't know where Throg is at right now. A little terrified of how good I hate these penalties. This seems to be like a very common theme with Norsca. Some sort of... I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue where Throg went. So this army is going to hustle on back to... this army is going to hustle on back. Provincial instability is -2, so actually this area is going to be secure within a turn. I think. It's going to be in the green. Varkamp's going to be lost, but that's okay. This territory's Trollheim Mountains are also lost, which means I'm going to be missing 2 provinces. I'm going to have to recover them over time, but it's not a crazy priority right now. I can definitely live without them for a little bit, and in the meantime, I can start building up my unit production buildings and all that sort of stuff. Had a phone call there. Sorry about that, guys. So here we are. We're carrying on. Yeah, I'm gonna lose our camp next turn, so there's nothing to be said about that. Or maybe not next turn, but the turn after. And I'm not gonna try to reoccupy all these places because right now I'm broke and I can't really afford to reoccupy them. I need to build up the cash and all that stuff to finance everything. So I'm going to go try to confederate get these last guys, the Bjornlings. I think this is their leader, so if I can catch him and fight him, that would be ideal. Marauders to the west, every little improvement to public order is huge, but I think I'll do the monster hunters first. And yeah, I'm going to go after the Bjornlings, see if I can get them to confederate. That would be ideal. It's interesting, the outposts for Norsca aren't really all that. Like with the Wood Elves, if your outposts are very self-sustaining. Oh yeah, this is... I could actually try to... You know what? I'm actually going to try to fight this because this is not nearly... This is one of those bad... I was talking about the pitiful Norscan revolutionaries. This is one of them. And I might have a... I don't know if I have a chance. They outnumber me slightly. They have warhounds. But I'm going to try. The Chaos Sorcerer is not as strong. And Marauders are pitiful. So I might have a chance. We'll see. So I'm definitely not going to go down, drop this one without a fight. I'm going to spread out a block there. Going to leave a unit of spears in reserve to counter against the what's likely going to be a rush from the hounds. And I'm just going to sit tight. Actually, what I should have done is I should have positioned myself in a smarter position. But oh well. I'm going to fall back so that my flank on one side is protected by the rock, and if they push in, they're going to be in a bit of a pickle. Now, unfortunately, this guy does have... Well, that's unfortunate. And he does have a damage spell, so... I guess I don't know. I shouldn't have expected any different. There's nothing but damage spells for those guys. I'm going to try to widen my line, because I don't want to take too much damage. I don't want to take too much damage from the, if I can at all avoid it. I'm going to try to crush these hounds very quickly. If I can get rid of the hounds, wipe them off the map very quickly. That would be perfect. And they're doing quite a bit of damage to the Marauders, but they'll do very little to the... As you can see, I'm already taking bombardments, and this is why I had to spread out. The hounds are doing well with their charge bonus up, but once that charge bonus wears off, I think I might have a shot. So we're gonna... I'm gonna engage on these hounds. I don't know why these guys are not throwing their axes. It's kind of ridiculous. Because that means that the wizard's actually going to get into close quarters, which is a little ridiculous. I think I'm being overwhelmed. I actually don't know. The spearmen are doing okay. It's nothing. It's not doing. I'm not doing great, but as long as I'm holding, as long as I can tie this guy down, it's actually not terrible. The warhounds are. I think the warhounds are winning against the spearmen. The spears are definitely a weakness here. Maybe if the enemy actually brought any large, they wouldn't be as much of a liability, but it actually looks like it won. Holy heck. I did not expect that. I'm gonna try to tie down their wizard now, and with the spearmen, and fall back with the axe throwers. Spears are, man, they're not doing good, but it's okay. Now I got axe throwers going at these guys' backs. It's kind of working out. And this really shows, I think, how well the champions perform against units that have next to no armor. I'm going to push these spears into those guys. I'm going to ignore their lord for now. Got these Chaos Marauders flanked, I think. If I can tie down these warhounds, I might do a shot. I'm going to try to get these axe throwers clear. I just try to kill these warhounds with the spearman. That would be. I'm gonna see if I can kill these. Oh, they broke. Might have a shot. I'm gonna see if I can start throwing axes at these warhounds. They might break. Yeah, the warhounds broke. Nice. I don't think I can get out to the wizard. Unfortunately, I'm about to get hit by another bombardment. Which is doing more and more damage as my units are whittled down and low on HP. This unit of champions, as you can see, it's already racked up a ridiculous amount of kills. I can't really get at this guy, but as long as the spears are tying him down, it's okay. Axes flying into these guys' backs, and that should definitely start wearing on them, even though this unit of axe throwers is incredibly depleted. Holy, yeah, this is going to be a win. Boy, unfortunately these axe throwers are getting absolutely mauled. But if I'm able to beat this guy down, yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna lose this area, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna weaken the wizard just enough. I don't wanna. If I can not kill him, that would be perfect, because if I can just weaken him, that would be ideal. And the reason for that is that if he's weak, or I don't have to catch him, they're only infantry. If I can get a few hits on him though. So the reason if I can weaken him, it would be good because I'm just gonna throw things to fast forward. It doesn't look like they're really able to catch the guy. Oh, they're doing something. I don't necessarily want to kill him, but the reason I want to weaken him is so that when they, because I'm not going to be able to pursue him. I don't have an army on the spot. So if I'm able to soften this guy up a whole bunch, and then he comes back, he's going to be a very easy hero to assassinate, and that could be just enough to push me over the edge of favor. So we're just going to end the battle there. Pyrrhic victory, honestly, I couldn't have asked for much more. It's actually ridiculous that it's that bad of a victory, given that they did come in with a hero and several rounds. If the AI was better at microing, if the AI actually would sweep in from all sides would take you from the front with the marauders and then throw the warhounds in behind you, it would be much more brutal fight. But it's not that smart. So yeah, as you can see, those champions are ridiculous. They're, in my opinion, I think I've said it in some of my quick match gameplay, I think they're one of the best, if not the best. I'm gonna actually get slave captives because I want to see if I can replenish my units. Um, so I don't know if I have an army. Yeah, this army's. I'm gonna try. I'll give it a shot. I'm not gonna buy anything there. That guy's really beat up. If I can assassinate him, that would be perfect. So I'm gonna. Don't know what's in that guy's army. I don't know where my good friend Throg is. I don't necessarily want to fight these guys when I don't have anything. I'm not gonna level up the Var Camp. I'm just gonna let it sit. Yeah, the upgrade in Garrison is fairly pitiful for most of this. Eventually you get a Feral Mammoth, which is nice. I do think Elves have significantly better garrisons, despite playing in a lot of ways very similar. So yeah, gonna end turn there. It looks like they're either building. I'm not entirely sure what this AI is doing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this army really fast to Var Camp to try to save it, and then I'm going to crush these guys next turn. Yeah, it looks like they're building up, but those are some terrible units. What I'm going to start raiding with. I'm going to declare war on Kislev. They're backed by Karak Kadrin, but that's okay. I'm going to auto-resolve. I do. This guy actually does have. And I'm going to sack, and this is where I can start raking in the cash. I'll set up in raiding camping if I can't. And I'm going to start trying to level Wulfrik up. I can't. Marauder Chariot's level 12. Warhammer's rank 18. So I can do in the meantime is I can invest in my Norscan units. I'm going to want Marauder Champions. A lot of these are very powerful upgrades in large parts. I'm going to get Dominating Presence first and foremost. Raiding over there. Winterpire is for some reason unhappy. Buildings, characters, difficulty level, lack of corruption. Lack of corruption is definitely a bit of a pain. It's slowly recovering though. Taxes. I need. So I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to build up a Ruinous Altar over there. I'm gonna build Winterpire up to a Clan Enclave. Gonna start building up the Vark Camp actually, which I hadn't intended to do originally. I intended to just lose it. Gonna level up. I'm just gonna start leveling everything up as if I can. If I have the excess. Growth, level Doom keep up. For now, I'm just gonna be trying to tech up my construction Doom keep. I want that reduction in keep. I'm just gonna start. Yeah, I'm just gonna start building up my economy as much as I possibly can. Because Norsca's economy is weak, but if I can level it up, I should be on solid footing. And I'm going to take advantage of the ancestral structures as much as I possibly can. I still don't know where Throg is. I don't know if he's gotten wiped out. If he's running around somewhere. He's still technically on the map, but I just have no clue where. And this is the... Yeah, I'm not fighting this. I'm just going to auto-resolve. I could sacrifice... I'm going to sacrifice because at this point I'm not worried about. So some quest for... Corone is really far away, which is unfortunate. Take no slaves. So I'm going to go here. This time, once again, I'm just going to auto-resolve. I don't feel like doing anything fancy. And I'm going to erase... Well, I could try for this Serpent. Supposedly, Corn's really good, because that gives you extra weapon strength and experience per turn. I don't really... The Plague sounds kind of fun, but I kind of want to try the artillery unit. Iceforge Legion. Yeah, I'm going to raise this for the Hound. I'm going to see how that goes. When I played as Throg, I went with the Serpent because of the upkeep reduction. But I'm going to try something different. For now, I'm going to spec into Berserkers because they're a unit I'm actually fielding. I don't really have champions in this army. Once I do, I'll start specking to those. I'm going to level this building up so I can get some... There we go. Perfect. Var camp over there. And I'm going to occupy the Nagflari plain entirely. I'm not going to actually take this area just yet. There's still a military crackdown going on, which is saving it from real major trouble. But I'm actually going to wait a turn because I want to occupy this, and I might need more money to occupy that area. And yeah, that's going to be... Oh, apparently there's some sort of putrefying ooze. Get Plague of the Crow, get that regen. Yeah, once you start snowballing with Norsca, it's pretty solid. I'm still missing two provinces worth in Norsca. It's also interesting. I don't want to be a spoiler here, but Norsca, the option with working with chaos, I think is a little bit interesting. I don't think it's really worth working with chaos, but the way it's put. Because Chaos comes in with a massive amount of stacks, and it's very difficult to fight him off, in my opinion. Even though the benefits of like beating him off are huge because you become the ever chosen. Let's see, so I'm just barely holding on here. Okay, but yeah, even though the benefits are pretty huge. I simply don't think even though the benefits are huge, I don't think it's worth the effort. You're going to lose the Bjornlings. The Bjornlings over here, I think, are a little in an inconvenient position. Kind of out of the way from your main, from all your main holdings. I could, unfortunately, I can't quite reach. I don't know if there's an army in Kislev. There's Beastmen, but I don't really care about them. I'm going to replenish, hit Erengrad. I'm going to sack it probably, and then reoccupy it the turn after. This army's building up. Nice. Yeah, I'm struggling on money, but it's okay. I'll be able to get Marauder champions with great weapons, which is perfect. I really want to get Skin Wolves and Werkin at some point, and I need to get leveled up for that. Marauders of the West, Bretonia, Kingdom. I don't really know which of those is better at the moment. I finally got Monster Hunter up. I go from longer hauls for now. And I can open up one of my quests, so I can do the Cold Voider, which is the Frost War one, and all these give you decent amounts of money. The Giant Cygor is pretty entertaining. That was a pretty fun battle. I haven't done this one. I don't actually know what this does. This is kind of cool, I guess. I think this one's fairly easy though, the Cold Voider, or it's not necessarily easy, but it's very easy to access. Yeah, so I need the Raid Tower of Crack, which I don't even own at the moment, which is a little, like, yeah, that's one of the last remaining areas I don't own. We'll see if the Beastmen decide to raise Erengrad. If they do, that's going to suck, because I won't be able to occupy it. I really wish I knew where Throg was. I'd go fight him, but... Because I want it. Are they actually the Beastmen are besieging? So I'm actually going to declare war on the Beastmen, because I want Erengrad. Auto-resolve, sacrifice them. And if Erengrad thinks they're getting away because of that, they're wrong. I'm going to auto-resolve that too. And can establish an outpost here. Actually, I'm not going to raise it. I don't think I'll establish the outpost. I could sack it, but I actually.
Norsca spreads like a plague on the world.
Norsca spreads like a plague. That's the truth. So I'm not really gonna. Well, I could get. Some of these recruiting structures are okay. You can't actually build a whatever it's called, a Norscan, the unique building that Throg gets here. Which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm going to build the Ruinous Altar, and once I hit tier 3, I'll build the other tech structure. Wulfrik has got up to 11, so I'm going to go with the Fearsome Warriors, make his guys even better. Next time I'll be able to get a Chariot. And I made a whole bunch of money from that, so it's perfect. Over there. Build the Ruinous Altar, build income buildings. I'm just raking in the cash right now. And I'm going to sit tight with my military, because I don't want to... suddenly lose this region right now. And I'm thinking right now I'm doing fine control wise everywhere else, so perfect. I'm actually over here. I'm going to build a sparring field. I'm going to start building a new unit recruitment center in Winterfire and scrap the one in Ascent Conclave because I don't really want it taking up space there. And I think that's practically it. Kislev, I'm sure, isn't happy about me. That's interesting. I always feel it's a show of how bad the AI is in some ways. The fact that these guys get that's an interesting escape path. But regardless, I always found it was interesting that AI, with Kislev, with starting off with 3 provinces and full access or access to the full Empire roster, as far as I've been able to tell, still falls flat on its face. Like the Empire roster is pretty strong. It's unfortunate that Kislev gets rolled over so fast. Well, at least Kislev got something out of that. I can't. My corruption here is very low. So until this. Could go after Ostland. I don't know where Throg is. So here I'm wandering around, seeing if I can find Throg at some point. Gonna build up another economic building here. Build up my military units or barracks there. And yeah, keep reducing the unhappiness. Because right now I'm sitting at the crackdown. So I've got +4, +5, soon to be +5 control. That's fortunate. Once you get your control in line with Norsca, it's all fairly smooth sailing. As you can see, the control in your outpost is atrocious. If you don't invest in corruption and spread corruption very efficiently, they are a bit like vampires in that sense. Kislev's over there. That's funny. I don't want to wander off too far away, but Prague only has an 8-man garrison. So I'm going to try to jump Prague, sack it, raise it, and then dash back to Erengrad. Get a Beast Tanner. Still sitting tight over here. And yeah, this is now that I've secured Norsca, this is like the campaign's gotten much more, I want to say, normal essentially. Is it now? Well, now it's like it's a bit like when you play Empire and when you finally beat off the Beastmen, deal with the Skull Smashers, and either take Marienburg or your first Bretonnian provinces. That's kind of what this feels like. You suddenly get like a lot more breathing room. You're suddenly much more capable of doing your own thing, really. So I definitely like the newfound flexibility. I guess those are their raising shenanigans. I'm gonna have to watch out for them. Make sure they go over to Prague. I think this is gonna be probably my last act. This actually is really not a lot of money. Might as well just sacking for 4,000. I'll sack it for 4,000. Why not? Every little bit helps, I suppose. And then enter rating stance. The next turn I'll be able to raise it and get this guy Marauder Chariot once I get him up to the War Mammoth. This guy face tank his stats a lot, but with the upgrades that you can put into him normally, he's not going to be a terrible hero killer, though he will knock heroes around quite a bit. But the main thing is it'll make Wulfrik much more flexible. He's not the most useful of lords for fighting enemy hordes or armies. Marble Quarry. And I'm going to see if I can build... I'm gonna build a. I'm gonna build a Warhound Kennels. Slayer's Camp. And over here, yeah, it's improving, getting up there. I'm gonna have to get up to tier 3, and but for that I still need a bit of population. So yeah, I'm gonna do. Once I raise Prague, I think that's where I'm gonna call it a day. So I'm gonna end turn here. I'm still missing the entire province over, I don't know what it is, like the Trollheim Mountains or something. The one where the Tower of Crack is, and I still haven't occupied all those settlements. I didn't want to. Well, you don't want to overextend, and I think that's a big thing. I definitely, that's something I'm trying to avoid. So Trollheim Mountains. There we go. I remembered. I'm good. I know what I'm doing, guys. And raise for the Hound. And yeah, that puts me up to 12 points for the Hound. I'm gonna have to make a mad dash back to Erengrad, I think, and try to level it up a bit more. I do think I have some growth stuff on Wulfrik. Yeah, growth is plus 30, so if I can get him in there, he's gonna be able to level this up pretty quickly. All that sort of stuff. So I'll do my last minute upgrades, a handful of them, if there's any more to do. Still need a bit more. I'm gonna save up money for that, I think. Plague of the Crow. Next time around, I'll do Putrefying Ooze, just to finish the commitment. The buildings here are not that great, but once you get to Plunder Hall, I really like the reduced upkeep, and 1% doesn't seem like a lot. And 7% research rate. The growth is pretty pointless because you're already usually growing pretty quick. But the 1% upkeep reduction, once it stacks, when you have multiple armies and you have multiple everything, it's a really solid boost. It's definitely not something that you want to just shrug away and ignore. Regardless, though, I think that's gonna be it because I'm saving up to level that thing up and to level my barracks up in Mountains of Hell. I do have to watch out for Kislev because they're rampaging around somewhere over there, so I might actually end up having to recruit a new army. Because this guy can't do it. But anywho, I do hope you guys enjoyed. I will be doing a follow-up episode hopefully pretty soon. I'm gonna have a bit of a busy schedule. I'm trying to get Carcassonne and Bordello done as a follow-up to my Bretonnian tutorial, and at the same time just keep doing this campaign and keep doing quick match. So I'm already investing quite a bit of time in this. So yeah, hopefully I'll get a next episode up in the next couple of days. If you have any comments, criticism, any ideas on how I can make these playthroughs better, be sure to post everything down. If you have got any tips that you found playing Norsca or any fun stuff you've discovered, be sure to comment. I'll be sure to read and respond as soon as I possibly can. As usual, I appreciate you guys for watching, and Wyvern out.